Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Leader, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I agree that this bill is a narrow approach at directing our agencies, but I do want to point out, policy-wise, that we will be revisiting these issues with respect to some of those issues that the gentleman from 22 brought up. Federal government is intruding, and if we are going to have any voice at all, these broader issues of notification will be revisited. But I do present to you that notification here, states' rights here, these are red herrings. These are issues that need to be debated in this body, but not with respect to this bill. There have been discussions of the Civil War. There have been discussions of the blood that has been spilled. Wasn't this resolved during the Civil War? I submit to you that this issue was resolved during the Nuremberg trials. The idea that we are directed from on high, that orders are orders, was found to be no defense, but rather our conscience is our duty. And that said, addressing this bill, the federal government has given itself sweeping power to govern both health care and the health insurance industries. It's included in here are those taxes we talked about on medical devices, employer-sponsored health care, indoor tanning services, so many things buried in this bill. There is no concern for the economic impact to states. There is no concern for the cost of complying with the more than 150 bureaucracies created by this. And keep in mind, each bureaucracy will be creating its own set of regulations, its own rules. The intrusion does weaken the state authority over traditional state powers. And ultimately, the question becomes whether state agencies are answerable to the federal government or answerable to Idaho. If we listen to the naysayers, the answer is the federal government, no matter what. That may be the case. But if we allow that, mark my words, state legislatures across the nation will become irrelevant. We will simply dole out the money the federal government decides. Here with this bill, in choosing to opt out, Idaho saves hundreds of millions of dollars. Which bureaucracy will determine the care of the elderly? Which bureaucracy will protect the unborn? These will all be established on federal mandates. I say again, it's time for Idaho to take a stand. This may be a line in the sand, but again, this line must be drawn. Now is the time. If Idaho is to stand for its sovereign rights, it must do so by every peaceful means. We preserve the Union by confronting an increasingly destructive federal bureaucracy. The federal government must be restrained because it has never been inclined to do so itself. If the Bill of Rights are not being ignored, they're under constant siege. Idaho here shows its faith in the U.S. Constitution. If the 10th Amendment has any meaning, we give it life with this bill before you. I thank you for your time.